Hey love bugs, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Samara Curtiss, and the only thing I have to say this week is Caresha please. And if you're wondering why that's the only thing I have to say, be sure you are subscribed, like this video, share it, and stay tuned. Okay love bugs, this is a very impromptu video. I was planning on doing something completely different, and after I saw what transpired on social media this weekend, I was like, I have to cover this topic because I was once Caresha. I was once the fast living, loving life, wills and thrills Caresha. So I just wanted to cover the whole Ciara's prayer versus Caresha's prayer because just a few years ago, everyone was like, oh my God, I need Ciara's prayer. I need Ciara's prayer. What did she do to get Russell? How did she get him? After Future, this, that, and the third, wherever the case may be. And now the City Girls came out a few years ago. Everyone's in the streets, living life. We're all FNF, living life, all that good stuff. And we see Caresha is living her greatest life with Diddy. Mind you, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with saying you want Ciara's prayer or you want Caresha's prayer. But you can't mix them both, in my opinion. You either want the Russell Wilson or you want the Diddy. And those are two different types of men. When I tell you, from outsider's point looking in, those are two different types of men. You have Russell Wilson, who is family oriented, showers Ciara, is all up in her face, making sure that he is portrayed as a one-woman man. That's what we know Russell Wilson as, the family man. Then we have Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Brother Love, Sean Puffy Combs. And we've known for years, he's been a playboy, even though he's just now kind of getting into that age of calling himself and embracing the playboy era. He's always been a playboy. Puffy has always had the baddest and best women on his side, and there is nothing wrong with that. But for everyone to be wanting to switch up so fast and me wanting Caresha's prayer, you have to understand what goes into wanting Caresha's prayer. Caresha understands that she is out here living her life. She isn't looking for any type of commitment. She's not in her feelings clearly about anything because we've been seeing the other women come out the woodwork trying to tussle with her in the comments, trying to one up her on her different gifts and lavish trips she's been on, and she has still held her head very high. But at the same time, like I said, she's not in her feelings. And I know me personally, when I was Caresha's age, Caresha's what, like 25, I believe, mid-20s. But when I was her age, I would have loved to be on Diddy's side. Jet setting, getting spoiled with gifts, being able to trick on my man as well. Like, that's what you're supposed to do in your 20s. You're supposed to live your life and experience things and be able to tell your kids stories in 15 or 20 years about what you did growing up and how you got to experience life. But also, me as a 30-year-old woman now, I understand that I don't want a Diddy. I don't want to have to be subliminally competing with women on the internet because he's also dealing with them. Not saying you have to be insecure or that makes you insecure because you can't deal with someone else, but I know what I want. I know that I've been down that road. I've been, you can call it a side piece, you can call it a Caresha, whatever the title is you want to put on it. I have been in that position where I was just living life and basically enjoying the perks of the life I was living. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but with being a Caresha and wanting her prayer, you cannot be in your feelings. And a lot of women nowadays scream from the high hill mountaintops that they don't be in their feelings over any type of man. But deep down inside, there is some type of feeling attached if you are wanting to try and one up somebody. And maybe even in a marriage relationship, you feel like you have to maybe one up people in their exes or whatever the case may be. But at the same time, those are two different types of prayers and two different types of relationships. Going along with wanting either Ciara's prayer or wanting Caresha's prayer, there was also turmoil and backlash that came with those men being those type of men for those women. So for instance, there was a podcast done and the podcast is called like The Pivot. And it's a ex-athlete, I want to say, I don't know what sport he played. I'm going to say football. I feel like he was a ex-football person. But the podcast was called The Pivot and his name was Channing, hold up, I have the notes. His name was Channing Crowder. And basically he called Russell Wilson like soft, or he said actually that he was a square. He called Russell Wilson a square basically because he was portraying, not even portraying, he was putting out there that he does for his woman, he does for his family. And I feel as though like men who either were not raised to see another man treat a woman as such, or do not treat their woman as such, or would not go out of their way to do something above and beyond for their woman, may see Russell Wilson as a square, may see him as, oh, like he's not one of us, he's doing the most for his girl's attention, or he feels like he has to work around X, Y, and Z and do the most. Well, baby, if Russell Wilson is a square, I want to fit inside that box. Because right now, from the outside looking in, Ciara's life seems pretty stable, seems very family oriented. Not saying Caresha's life doesn't, but Caresha's life is very on the fast track pace. She is young, she is thriving, she is living her life, and that is beautiful at that age. But at some point in time, I feel as though as a person, you may want to slow down a little bit. Not saying you have to stop life at a whole, but I know personally, I want to be able to have one person to go home to. I want to have one person to be able to build with. And again, I just feel like there is some type of weird competition going on with the other women that P. Diddy has dealt with. Not saying Caresha's in any type of competition. I feel like the other women that were once involved with Diddy, Brother Love, Puff Daddy, are feeling like they need to compete now because he is so open with his relationship. In the past, if you think about it, yes, we knew who Diddy was with, the different mothers of his children, Cassie for the longest. But yeah, he wasn't really out there exposing his women, not exposing, he wasn't really putting them out there and seeing that, oh, they're traveling at the same time. Oh, he's gifting her things, putting them on social media, things like that. Even though they weren't around, you still didn't see him even in blogs or tabloids with these women out and about. And I feel like there is something special about Caresha that is truly like lighting the fire in this man's soul and maybe bringing out his younger years, what he wanted to live through, even though he was still like hustling in the music world and as a mogul. I feel like Caresha is doing something special to that man that is sorcery, and I'm here for it. Okay, so circling back to when I said I feel like there's a weird competition going on with the other women. So my friends and I even brought this up in our group chat, saying how 50 Cent's baby mother, I believe her name is Daphne, she has like subliminally been trying to like also post little cute little things that her and Diddy did when they were an item. Mind you, I'm not up to date on all his women, but I don't recall that ever being a thing. And if it was, they kept that very tight and under wraps. And again, I might have forgotten or overseen that relationship, but I don't ever remember her being a thing. Not as if she was a Cassie. Yeah, I don't recall her being a thing in my head. But nonetheless, I remember my group chat basically saying like, why is this old woman battling with this young bitch? Like, you look crazy. If Diddy is not publicly claiming you the way he is Caresha right now, sis, please sit down. Please just sit down and save us the embarrassment. Because right now, City Girls are up 5,000 and 50 Cent's baby mom is not. So it's just, it looks crazy from the outside because Caresha is really being put on a platform by Diddy and being shown the love and all the support and everything, even out at award shows. And it's like, here's Daphne like in the corner. Oh, here's my little cute poster out on an island that you got to squint to see that it's even Diddy or like his toes in it. It's like, sis, come on, just let it go. Let it go. So depending on if you do want the Ciara prayer versus the Caresha prayer, it depends about the men you're dealing with also. These men are definitely polar opposites, even though they are both famous individuals, well-known individuals on platforms, have great things going for them. They are two totally different men who I think are in different points of their lives as well. And that makes a difference with how you as a woman will, I guess, evolve around with that man. If your man is still out in the streets ripping and running, I know personally part of me is still in the back of my head going to have some type of concern or worry or feel like I need to be with him in these streets. And at my age of 30, I don't feel like I need to be in anybody's streets, riding with anybody's son till the wheels fall off. Absolutely not. But on the other hand, then you have Russell Wilson, who is out here playing football, out here doing things with his family, having endorsements around his family. It's just two different paces of life. And not everyone may be ready to settle down right now. But I feel as though when you know you're ready to settle, you stop settling for men who are not ready to settle as well. Okay, I was even able to find a meme surrounding this whole Caresha and Diddy situationship, and it reads, I love when people are genuinely happy, but the fact that Young Miami and Diddy's situationship is goals for y'all, or y'all love to see it so bad, is embarrassing. And the bar for love is set in hell. Since when is sharing a man a good thing? I'm legit confused, or is it a difference because of money? That was my other point. I feel like he is being shared, and you have to be okay with sharing, and that's where the point of not getting in your feelings comes into play, because Caresha knows there is no title, and she's made that clear that they're not in a relationship, and she knows that. She is just out here living her life and enjoying the things that Diddy is providing, and vice versa. She's giving things back to him as well. But the fact that a lot of these people who are saying they want Caresha's prayer are the same people that would be throwing up if they realize their man had another woman. You can't be in that situation. There's no way you can be in that situation and not think, I'm sharing my man. I'm sharing my man because we are not in a committed relationship. There are other women out here comfortably posting past encounters with this man. Like, I think the money factor is a main factor in this, because I know half y'all ain't gonna be dealing with Joe from uptown if he's also dealing with Rachel from out the south. Y'all know that ain't happening, especially if he ain't got them coins. So I definitely think that money is playing maybe not a majority of the portion, but a very good percentage of the relationship. I feel like a lot of people on the outside looking in are just seeing the money aspect. They're seeing the boat trips, they're seeing the Maybachs getting bought, they're seeing the bags, they're seeing the jewels, they're seeing the acts of love that are being given. And that is capable also in any relationship, but everyone's pay grade is not the same. So make sure you are paying to play when you're wanting these certain situations, because if your man isn't making those same funds that Diddy is, or someone close to it, you're not going to have a Caresha situation. You're just going to be mad that your man is out here dealing with other women and you said he could. So me personally, I would definitely be leaning more towards Ciara's prayer, because there are definitely perks that come with Ciara's side as well. She has a beautiful family, a blended family at that, that from what I see is working out pretty well. I don't rarely hear too much from Future's mouth, and I don't really hear too much from Russell's mouth about raising Future's child. So I think that relationship is a gift in itself. Even though Caresha's getting physical gifts, I think the gift of having a blended family working together so well is what I would like to aspire to be. Mind you, I'm not 25 or in my mid-20s like Caresha, because if I was, I would take that ride and I would ride it until those wheels fell off, and then I would buy some more wheels to keep on riding. But at the age I am now, and what I've already got to experience in life and travel and just ball out on other people's expenses, I've definitely fulfilled my Caresha's prayer, and now I feel like I am slowly transitioning onto Ciara's side to something a little bit more stable, where I don't have to feel as though, yes, in the back of my mind, there is some type of competition, because in those past relationships, because I was in a Caresha situation, none of those situations had commitments that were being gifted amazing things or flown out places. Those were not committed relationships. I can say that wholeheartedly, because I wanted that. I didn't want a commitment in my 20s. I didn't want to have to tell some man where I am every ounce of every day. I want to tell you, oh, I'm coming now. I'll see you in a couple days. Oh, you want to go somewhere? That's cool. But now I don't mind that. I don't mind knowing that someone cares enough about me to want to check up on me, or know that I'm in a safe environment or in a safe place. So yes, there are two different types of prayers. I prayed for both of them. I got one of the prayers already. I had my Caresha life, and now I am still actively praying to God to have my own version of Ciara's prayer, where I have a beautiful family, where I have a loving husband, not a man, not a nigga, but a husband, not a boyfriend, a husband. I can't even say that right because it's so foreign, but it sounds good. A husband. A husband. So yes, that is where I am transitioning to now. I am saying my Ciara prayer. I said my Caresha prayer. I thank God for that experience, for him blessing me with my version of Caresha's lifestyle on my level. And now I know God will bless me with my Ciara prayer, because I have seen the amazing things that he has done for both of those women. And each of those women are happy. That's the end goal, is to be happy with someone, whether it is in the form of a marriage commitment or just a good time, and each person understanding that we are here for a good time. So yes, that was my little impromptu video today. I feel like I had to cover that and get this topic out before the conversation changed. But yes, there are two types of prayers. And yes, even though I said Caresha please earlier, it was a good Caresha please, because I'm able to realize there are two different types of prayers, and it's okay to want both. It is okay to want both of those prayers, but being able to differentiate and transition into from one prayer to the other is also a beautiful lesson as well. So I'm so glad you guys chimed in and listened to what I had to say for another week. Be sure you are subscribed. Be sure you like this video. Comment below if you want to chime in. Also, if you have any type of topics you want to cover surrounding this whole Ciara prayer versus Caresha prayer. And yes, I will see you guys next week. And I love you, love bugs. Bye.